Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a few things happen. The number one hero is now forced to retire. He, on his last ever mission as a hero, to try and take down the League of Villains, he killed All for One on live television. The world saw it. And it was even revealed that the Thorn Princess, the newest villain associated with the League, turned out to be Ibarra from Class 1B. And that did say quite a bit. This girl doesn't appear to have been turned into a Nomu, so that can mean one of two things. And both things are bad. One worse than the other. There's the idea right now that the UA students, some of them might be villains. It's confirmed Ibarra might have either been brainwashed or turned to their side with ideas and with convincing. Both are bad options. But right now there's the idea that every student in Renegade's little crew could be a UA student. Now there's also another problem. If he's a UA student. Because he was wearing Izuku Midoriya's face on a broadcast. And that broadcast happened to have his dead mother sitting there in a chair with a hole on the side of her head, before Renegade lit some UA parents on fire. Now, right now Renegade, he made things quite clear. Izuku Midoriya is his next target. But the world, they made things a mistake. They thought Izuku Midoriya was Renegade, and the boy was arrested and locked up. He was escorted in shackles into a cell. And he even tried to beg for his innocence and for a phone call. He needs to call his father. Now, Ochako, she kept trying to desperately verify his alibi. He was there all day. She was with him all day. She knows he's not Renegade, because she's been there when Renegade's broadcasting. He's right there with her. Now, Ochako, yeah. She's basically told about a few procedures they have to do. And a lot of people, they try and give Deku a bit of a wide berth because of what he might be. And some of these people, they really don't want to get on Renegade's bad side. So if that guy just so happens to be the one who wears a mask, yeah, he'll be nice. Because maybe the guy won't chop his legs off and try to make him climb up a ladder. Now, with that being said, Deku does sit there in the corner, his legs up, on the bench, trying to think. To him, this entire situation, it's not warranted. It's not fair. I mean, Renegade wore his face. And his mother. Dear God, his mother. Now, Izuku, he does try to focus on this. He tries to focus on the idea that he couldn't have been Renegade. He, I mean, he wouldn't be capable of these fucked up horrors this guy makes. Now, a lot of police officers and even people, they try and get a few things together. They have to try and either give a statement that Izuku Midoriya isn't this mass psycho, or they have to explain that they have Izuku Midoriya in custody. And the Hero Committee, yeah, the Hero Safety Committee, they don't really know a lot about what to do. Civil unrest is at an all-time high. Renegade has made sure of that. And right now, what they want is for that to go down. So they're going to throw this out there and hope that it does somewhat quench the fire. Now, right now UA, they are still somewhat surprised, and some people are still shocked. Nezu, he heard Aizawa bring him this idea, and Nezu tried to tell Mr. Aizawa about exactly how absurd it does sound. Because Kyokajiro being Soundwave, or Songbird, yeah, that doesn't seem feasible. Songbird, she fires her quirk from her hands. Kyokajiro fires it from her earphones. So, Exactly how is it possible? How is it possible that a girl who lost her quirk, who had herself partially, quote unquote, crippled, her quirk, she is able to use it in a different manner? Did her body adapt, or did the villains just pump another quirk into her? Did they promise her abilities? Is that how they got to her? He wants Aizawa to express more, to actually think and bring him better details, especially if he's going to come to him with ridiculous theories like that. Kayokajiro, she is a stressed out teenager who is scared for her life. And right now, one of those teenagers, they were put in jail. Izuku Midori is under suspicion. However, the moment he is released, he is coming back to UA. These grounds are the only place safe enough with security to save them from that fucking madman. Now, right now, Nezu, he doesn't dismiss Aizawa, and Aizawa is going to walk out of the room as we do actually cut over to Deku. Deku, he was moved over to an interrogation room, and the police officers, they tried to get what information they could. Deku was clearly hiding something, and they even searched his room, but they didn't really find anything. But then again, he's the most dangerous villain in Japan, so he assumed that he would have done that. But the better question right now is, why did he reveal his identity? What purpose does it serve? And why did he murder Inko Midoriya? Now, Deku is trying to shout at the police officers, and he does go off on them. He's already restrained by his handcuffs, and right now the police, they do so going to jump back as Deku, he tried to jump up, defending himself. This is all fucking ridiculous. They're not even trying to think he's innocent. They just think he's guilty. Why would he show his face? Why would he try and make his life harder? Why would he do anything? Now, the police do listen to Deku begin to rant. He begins to get angry and yell at them. They're already aware about everything. But what they just gotta do is go through protocol. And sadly, this is part of protocol. Now, the police do at least try to talk to Deku about everything. They don't believe he's renegade. However, they do need him to answer the questions. Honestly, preferably. Now, the person is going to hold out their hand, expressing for Izuku to please grab it. And Deku does going to do so. The person beginning to look into Deku's heart rate and vitals, before they do at least express. They are Detective so-and-so, and their quirk makes them a human lie detector. And just mean that quite literally. She will be able to tell if he's lying, and whether or not he is telling the truth. To the best of his knowledge, is he renegade? Now, Deku does flat out say no, and the thing does going to turn red. And the person, they do somewhat going to stare at Deku and express to him good. However, she's going to need a lot more questions answered than that. Now, just to list them off. Is this person this? Is this person this? Are you associated with this? Is this something that you have done? Have you done this? Have you done that? And the other person in the room, they do at least try to view Deku's memories. Their quirk is called Oracle, or as many others like to call it, Snow Globe. The ability allows you to visualize a memory, and if you're holding someone's hand, you can use it on them. You can view the memory through their eyes. So, an eyewitness account is quite literal with their ability. Now, the person, they do start to watch a few things. They see what happened at the USJ. They see how Renegade, he came walking up, and he had a Nomu at his side. One no one saw before. Now, Deku, he did actually bend down, and there was where Renegade, he expressed about what was going to be happening. The way he talked, the way he kept Izuku from speaking. He used fear and tactics. The way he talked to Deku was like he was talking to himself in first person, but also third. Somehow, he switched to them so flawlessly. Renegade might as well have been listing off a to-do list out loud, and Deku just happened to be a guy who was walking by and heard it. Renegade, he told Deku he would leave 5 people alive, but he never said what alive was. Now, right now, Deku, he does is also show them the training camp experience, where the villains, they came in and left him in the hospital again. And the detectives, they're actually quite shocked by a lot of the stuff they see in Deku's head. Since this is fuck. The fact that this kid got angry, God, now they feel like assholes. The person is trying to give their condolence. And Deku, he doesn't sit there expressing, can he call someone now? And the police, they uncuffed him. Deku being able to actually somewhat feel his wrist again because the circulation, it started to feel bad. Now, he does get that phone call. And Hisashi Midoriya, who was calling all fucking day, got no answer from Izuku's phone. The home phone, no answer. Inko's phone, which, as fucked up as it is, he thought may have either been at home or been with Izuku. It was not getting any answer either. And there was finally a random phone number he saw. He saw the area code and realized it was for the city. So he answered it. And right now, Hisashi, he does get to hear Izuku's voice. Dad, are you there? Izuku, oh my god. Where are you? What's going on? I was arrested. Do you mind explaining to me what the fuck you are doing? You're a renegade? No, no, Dad. No, fuck. Why would you think I'm renegade? Now, Hisashi, he does try to talk to his son. And Deku, he actually does feel weird talking to his dad. Right now, his father, he tells Deku quite plainly, they are going to sell everything at the house and he is going to move overseas with him. He does not care. He's paying for a ticket to come home. He told his job what was going on. His job didn't believe it. And now the number one hero for Japan is retiring thanks to the villain he mentioned. Yeah, the fact that his wife just died too, he is definitely being compensated very well at his job because of the circumstances. Now, Hisashi, he's taking a lot of time off, and he is going to save the rest of his family. And Deku, he does actually feel thankful towards his dad. And there actually is outside the police station, where right now, Renegade, he does stand there. And he does get a look up, expressing to the person in the trench coat if they want to walk in now. The person going to do so. Now, Renegade, he does going to pull the bag off of his head, and then he does going to put it directly onto this person's head. As they do going to walk into the police station, and the person at the desk does going to look up. Then I'm going to see Renegade. Now, the police officer does something going to laugh. I mean, the person's wearing a trench coat. It's the same length, I guess, as the jacket, but then they're wearing a paper bag with a doodle of Renegade's mask. I mean, that's so childish. That's child's play. Now, the officer does go to express, that is a terrible impression of Renegade. To which the man will come walking out from behind this person, Deku turning his head, asking the police officer if they happen to be a fan. Now, the cop currently does go to have their blood run cold, before they do go to someone just fall backwards and faint. Now, Deku, he does like that. That was funny. Now, he does decide that they are the designated survivor. So, everybody else in this building, they're free game, except for Izuku, of course. Now, Deku, he was thrown back into a jail cell, and the police, they were trying to figure out who to release custody of him to. The heroes, UA, is someone going to pick him up? I mean, do they drive him somewhere? It was hard to tell. The person in the trench coat does get a walk into the police station, them making their way past the doors and past reception. Now, a lot of people do get a turn and see, as Renegade just stepped inside. And now, one officer does get to actually stand up and walk over, them yelling about how that is not funny. This cop actually stepping forwards and expressing to them, walking directly up to them and grabbing the paper bag off of their head, going to pull it off as they expected some random punk. However, they see the face of Momo Yaoyorozu. And right now, Deku does get a walk around the back, him going to bring up a shotgun towards the person's face. Their face going pale white as Deku does get a smile. Him going to lower the gun down and blast them in the junk. Now, right now the persons go flying backwards onto the ground, screaming out in pain, as Deku is going to tell Momo, go have fun. Go play. Tear up some toys. Now, Momo does get to currently dash in, and Deku, he actually does get to turn and whistle out for a lot of other people, as we do actually have where the building does start to have its windows shatter. And then someone does come walking in, and their tendrilled hair does start to make its way through the building. Now, Deku, that's just who's inside. On the outside is everybody else. And we do actually have Izuku Midoriya. He is currently panicking in his jail cell. He is trying to hide, but he can't hide anywhere. He's locked up. He's in shackles. And the police, they realize exactly what's going on. As there's gunfire going on, and Deku, he doesn't hear somebody get their lungs ripped out of their body. As right now, there is where Momo does a step forward towards the jail cell. Her right now going to grab onto the door and begin to start pulling it out of the metal. Now, she's going to turn and throw the door down before actually going to step forwards, and Deku is going to step backwards. I'm going to fall down to the ground as Momo does keep moving towards him. Now, Deku does stare up at her as she does going to approach him on her hands and knees before she's going to walk directly up to him and take a sniff. Her smelling the familiar scent of Deku. Now, right now Momo, she's going to somewhat peck him on the cheek. Before Deku, he's confused. And then Momo's tail, it does go to elongate and grab onto him. Before Deku is pulled up and into the air. Before it does start to coil around him like a snake. And that just does give him more questions. As Momo does going to turn and right now run on all fours out of the cell. Now, this is where Deku, he actually is going to see the carnage going on. The police station, I mean, Jesus. And Renegade, he does actually going to toss the phone over to somebody. As Ibarra, she does going to stand there holding it, and Deku, he does going to stand there with himself. Now, the live stream does going to start, and Renegade is going to bring his hands up to pull off the mask, and shout about how he is Izuku Midoriya, and he's Renegade. Today, he just happened to be in the neighborhood and decided to abduct a police station. Maybe renovate it? Turn it into a landfill? I mean, all that does sound fun. But he's gonna play a game. Yin and Yang. The camera panning to Deku, as right now he does float in the air, held, well, curled up in a tail. And people do get to see it. That's Izuku Midoriya. But he's supposed to... What? This being a very strange point. Now, everybody does stare at it. The two look like they could be twins. identical twins. And Renegade, he does gonna try and express to Izuku. You know, he does want to stay quiet a bit. Him walking around. He's taking out a lot of police today. About 20 if he's correct. And Deku, he's a goody little two shoes, isn't he? Now, Deku right now does stare at Renegade. As he does stand directly in front of him, bring his hand up. Him gonna pinch his face and pinch his cheeks with one hand. Before Deku, he does gonna actually spit in Renegade's face. Now, right now Deku, he does gonna bring his hand up, wiping that away. Before he does gonna actually bring his hand down. Gonna grab a, well, oh god, I'm forgetting the name. He basically just grabs out a pocket rag and just wipes it off. And then he's gonna turn directly towards Deku, bringing his hand down again, before we're gonna pull out a gun and point it directly to Deku's temple. Now, Deku is gonna tell, well, Renegade is gonna tell Deku. This is gonna be quite simple. He is not gonna paint his brains on the ground. He promised him 5 survivors. He's gonna give him 5 survivors. But then again, Renegade's curious as to how much of his brain he does need. He's willing to take about most of it. All of it? Or maybe he'll make Izuku eat his own brain. How funny would that be? I mean, honestly, there are ways to get most of those pieces out. He could survive with only half of that, doesn't he know? It will mess him up quite considerably. But then again, he could rewire those nerves. Make it all work? It could give him frequent migraines. Now, they're going to stare at Renegade. And Renegade, he even is going to express. He could even make him his own little monster, made of machines and valves. Come on, doesn't he want to be Frankenstein? And Deku is going to call Renegade a psycho. And Renegade is going to stare back at him, before we're going to smack him across the face with a gun. Now, Renegade is going to ask him if he has any better material, because this is running out of luster real fast. Now, we do actually have Ochako, who she does get to see the live stream. She watches what happens, and how her boyfriend gets abducted by a dangerous villain. It is not her day. Now, Ochako, she is worried, and she feels shitty. She lost her parents and her boyfriend, all in the same night. I mean, fuck. The same day, her parents get burned to death, and then Izuku is captured? I mean, she doesn't understand. It's so... Now, Ochako does feel a panic attack. She feels the pressure in her chest. She feels the way it just builds. It feels like she can't breathe. She feels like something's turned off. Something's just blocking the path. There's too much there. Now, Ochako doesn't want to collapse. And right now she's trying to catch her breath. She's trying to stay calm. She's trying to just figure this out. But there's an idea that does pop into her head. It's, well, one she thought of before. I mean, it was a way away from Renegade, and, well, it's not being on the board, right? It's not playing his game, because you're not a player. You're dead. Everyone who's already played Renegade's game is dead. They're dead. And she can get out of this game, right? Now, Ochako sit there painting like that. Her trying to think. She needs to get out of Renegade's game. So she just needs to die. Her actually not going to jump back up and try and search through her nightstand. She knows that she does have some. She knows because the bottle is almost empty. But she knows that there's another one here. She bought it recently. Or, well, Izuku bought it for her, but that's besides the point. Ochako, she feels tired. Tired of running. And this thought, it just made sense. Ochako popping open the nearly empty bottle. And right now she actually has fine 4 sleeping pills. And right now she's actually going to take them into her mouth. Her thinking about what to do. Her actually going to bring her hand out and grab onto the rest of the other bottle. The one that's full. The one that's brand new. And there is where she just going to try and open the bottle up. She presses down the container's lid. And then she just tries to push it and twist it. And then it doesn't. It should be a simple. It should just twist off. Now, Ochako does struggle with it. And there is where she's annoyed. She just wants to sleep. Her turning and throwing the bottle directly at the wall. And it is going to smash and somewhat dent it. Her watching the bottle go to hit onto the ground. And then there is where she is going to realize what she was about to do. She took 4 of those, and she was about to take the whole. Fuck, what is wrong with her? Now, Ochako, she's somewhat terrified. She rationalized the entire thing. She didn't feel afraid. She's got to talk to someone. Right now, though, we do cut over to somewhere else. We do actually have outside of All Might's hospital room. Mirio, he's been in there for hours. He has refused to go home. And he needs to. He fought along All Might, and he showed what it was to be a hero. All Might, though, he hasn't said a word ever since he woke up from his injuries. Ever since he woke up to find the world he was in now. All Might's secret was revealed. All of his secrets are out there. And the last thing he ever did as a pro hero was murder All for One. In reality, the way he is now, that's something that he can live with. But right now, there's another problem. All Might, he failed on one front. He got the Master, but he didn't get that dog on a leash. That dog, right now, will run wild. And all he can do is sit here. Because All Might hasn't responded to anything. And we do actually have where Night Eye is going to walk into the room with Mandalay. And Mandalay, she's still not too sure about this. Going into All Might's mind is very intrusive and invasive. She can't really condone this under normal circumstances. And there actually is where Night Eye, he does try to express to her. He has literally responded to nothing. They think it may have been stress or shock, but he does not believe it to be so. There was something that was left behind at one of his agencies, and it was labeled as being from Renegade. However, the letter inside, it was not written anywhere to the way he would expect Renegade to write him a letter, because mainly it wasn't written in blood, nor was there a severed finger inside the envelope. And the person they do somewhat going to try and ask, he sent something in like that before? No. But we can't rule it out as a possibility. Honestly, I'm surprised it took someone so long to actually try and use his name for something. All Might. Now, Night Eye is going to walk in. Him trying to talk to Mirio, as Mirio, he already fell asleep in the chair. God damn it, you fucking huge cinnamon bun. Now, Night Eye, he does going to turn back to Mandalay, telling her what he does want her to do. And Mandalay is going to hold up her hands and get ready. She's definitely not going to like this. And as Mandalay does go to try and enter All Might's mind, there is All Might, who right now is going to look directly up at Mandalay. As Mandalay, she tripped an alarm. And All Might, he goes to smile. Now, Mandalay's confused. Before there is a voice. Hi, Mandalay. "Hmm? What? Toshi? No, no, Mandalay, not Toshi. Listen, this is a bit like a pre recorded message. Sadly, I can't be here to talk to you, chat with you, or pull your brain apart. Honestly, I'm intrigued by your powers, specifically. My powers are very, very closely tied to yours, and I'm wondering if I can take your quirk. I'll keep that in the back of my head, though. Then again, that's where you're trying to go to, right? The back of All Might's head? Find out what's going on? Find out where he is. Now, Mendeley is a bit more surprised. Renegade put a booby trap in All Might's mind? That's crazy. Right now, though, she is concerned. Her at least trying to dig deeper into All Might's psyche. And right now, it's just at least trying to dive a little too fast. All Might is going to bring his hands out and up onto his own throat. And Mendeley does going to stop. As All Might does try to tell her, that's not how this game works. She can't go digging around with reckless abandonment. She has to find the paper trail. At least somebody does. Because their best option is currently back in his hands. Mainly a little confused. And there is where Deku is trying to at least express. Really, they really didn't figure it out. That was a trap. Izuku Midori isn't Renegade. Though, the real identity, that's easier to figure out. I mean, it's right there in front of them. And that's where the heroes are a bit confused. As Renegade, he will go to express. He won't murder All Might. That would make him a martyr. But though he can make them work towards getting him towards recovery. He made this shit elaborate, complicated, and hard to figure out. Have fun, Mandalay, because she's not the one this was designed for. That person right now, he's going to torture and cut off the limbs of. Not kill, but he definitely will send him back different. Maybe probably 50, no, maybe a little bit lighter. Hard to take a guess though. Then again, there's so many extra things he doesn't really need. Like another lung, or maybe just two kidneys. Maybe he could just have one. Maybe they can take half of that liver. Does he really need those intestines? Now, right now, it does sound all messed up. He's describing the way to take apart somebody's body. And Mandalay, yeah, she needs to step out. Now, Night Eye, he does try to take control of the situation. And right now, if he does try to talk to Renegade, he does just gonna shut down again. And Night Eye, he feels like he's gotten nowhere. Now, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.